Did you know that 1 in 5 children in the US enter kindergarten with a speech delay? That's a shocking statistic. And what's even more surprising? Many of these delays could have been avoided with simple changes in how parents interact with their kids. We often assume that speech delays are just part of growing up, but the truth is, some of the most common mistakes we make as parents could be holding our children back from developing language skills faster. In this video, we're going to reveal 6 surprising mistakes that might be delaying your child's speech development, and most parents don't even realize they're making them. From the quiet moments that stunt growth to the conversations we think are helping but actually aren't, we'll show you what's going wrong and how to fix it. Stick around, because these tips are easy to apply, and you'll start seeing changes in no time. Let's dive in and help your child reach their full potential. Chapter 1. The silent screen trap. We live in a digital world, and screens are everywhere. Whether it's TV, smartphones, or tablets, it's easy to let kids watch their favorite cartoons or play games on devices. But did you know that excessive screen time can delay speech development? According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, children under 2 years old should have no screen time, and children over 2 should have no more than 1 hour of screen time each day. Screens are passive, kids just watch. They don't engage in back-and-forth conversations or practice speaking. Real conversations with parents, caregivers, or siblings, on the other hand, are interactive and can help a child learn new words and language patterns. A study in pediatrics found that kids who watched more TV were less likely to use complex sentences by age 3. So, what can you do? Try setting limits on screen time and increase opportunities for face-to-face conversations. Read books together. Even if your child is still babbling, they are learning. Make it a habit to ask open-ended questions that encourage them to respond and engage. Studies show that the more words a child hears, the more they're able to process and understand language. Chapter 2. Talking over their tiny words. We've all done it. Your child says, "dog," and you excitedly say, "Yes. That's a big dog. Look, it has a tail and fur." While it's natural to get excited about your child's first words, sometimes this can actually delay their speech development. The mistake here is talking over their small words. Children are learning to form words, and their progress can be slowed if parents overcompensate by speaking too much. Instead, try responding to their words simply and directly, like, "Yes, that's a dog." This strategy gives your child a chance to hear how words should sound and how sentences should be structured. Speech experts recommend using what's called expansion. For instance, if your child says, "dog," you might say, "That's a big dog." This helps them learn how to add more words to their vocabulary and structure their sentences. But remember, avoid overwhelming them with too many words at once. The key is to build upon what they say, not take over the conversation. Chapter 3. The overuse of baby talk. It's easy to fall into the habit of using baby talk with your little one. The sing-songy voice, the exaggerated words, it's a fun way to communicate, but it can sometimes hinder speech development. Research suggests that while baby talk may be cute, it can prevent children from learning the proper sounds and vocabulary they need. Instead of using simplified words like wah-wah for water or ba-ba for bottle, try using the correct words. A study published in Developmental Science found that children who were exposed to more adult-like speech had faster language development. When you use the correct words, your child learns how to form those words properly, which helps them later on when they're building sentences. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't have fun with language. Use a normal tone of voice, but still make it engaging. For example, if you're playing with blocks, instead of saying, "big block," you can say, "large block," or "red block." Even though it might seem like a small change, it has a big impact. A 2017 study from JAMA Pediatrics showed that parents who used a richer vocabulary with their toddlers helped them develop stronger language skills by age 3. Before we continue, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any tips on how to support your child's growth. Chapter 4. Ignoring the power of play. Play is not just fun, it's essential for speech development. Research shows that play helps children learn new words, improve their communication skills, and develop problem-solving abilities. Yet, many parents focus on structured learning or formal lessons, forgetting how much children gain from free play. A study from the American Journal of Play highlights that children who engage in pretend play, like pretending to be a chef or doctor, develop more advanced language skills. Why? Because they use their imagination and practice social interactions, which mimic real-life conversations. It's during these moments that kids expand their vocabulary, learn how to take turns in a conversation, and improve their storytelling skills. To harness the power of play, create opportunities for imaginative activities. Set up a toy kitchen, build forts with blankets, or have a puppet show. Let your child lead the play, and follow their cues. Don't worry if it feels a bit silly, that's part of the fun and learning. If you notice your child struggling with a particular word or concept, gently introduce it during play. For example, you could say, "I'll help you make a sandwich. First, we need bread. Can you say, bread?" The benefits of play extend beyond just language. According to the National Association for the Education of Young Children, children who engage in playful learning also show improved emotional regulation, creativity, and social skills. So, the next time your child grabs a toy, remember, this is language learning in action. Chapter 5. Neglecting the pause. Why listening is key. Listening is just as important as speaking in the development of language. Yet many parents unintentionally rush conversations or fill the silence, thinking their child will lose interest. But did you know that silence can actually be a golden opportunity for your child to process and respond? According to Dr. Daniel G. Gambino, a speech-language pathologist, pauses in conversation allow children the time they need to think, process, and respond. By filling every silence, you might be taking away their chance to practice what they've learned. In fact, children who have regular conversations with pauses tend to develop stronger language skills, as they get used to listening and taking turns in dialogue. So, what should you do? After your child says something, resist the urge to jump in right away. Give them a moment to continue or expand on their thought. This shows them that you value their input and encourages them to keep talking. It also helps them understand that conversations are two-way streets. They say something, then you respond, and the exchange continues. A study in the Journal of Child Language found that children exposed to conversations with pauses develop more advanced speech and language skills by age 3. Encourage back and forth communication by asking open-ended questions like, "What do you think happens next?" This gives your child the space to think, respond, and practice speaking more clearly. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the last chapter. These tips are so easy to apply and can make a huge difference. Chapter 6. The Too Quiet Parent Pitfall. Many parents mistakenly believe that if their child is quiet, they are developing fine. After all, some kids are naturally shy or introverted. However, a lack of verbal interaction can actually delay speech development. Kids need to hear words to learn them, and if the environment is too quiet, they may not get the input they need. A 2019 study from the Harvard Graduate School of Education found that children with limited verbal interactions at home had a slower rate of language development. Researchers coined this the 30 million word gap, the idea that children in more talkative households hear up to 30 million more words by the time they turn 3, compared to children in less verbal households. To avoid the too quiet pitfall, increase the amount of conversation in your home. Talk to your child about everything you do throughout the day. While you're making lunch, say, "I'm chopping the carrots now, look at their orange color." This constant verbal input helps children learn new words and understand how sentences are structured. You don't need to wait for your child to initiate conversations either. In fact, according to Dr. Anne Fernald, a researcher at Stanford University, talking to children, even when they're not yet speaking, promotes faster speech development. The more you talk to them, the quicker their brains pick up on language patterns. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Talk in complete sentences, ask questions, and keep the conversation flowing. That's a wrap. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, these small changes can have a big impact on your child's language development. Thanks for watching.